really don't.
Right.
I just like the freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want.
This society is changing a lot.
4 reasons why being a single man in your 30s is awesome.
Millions of men aren't disappearing from dating for no reason. They're looking at what relationships cost them, financially, emotionally, and personally, and deciding that peace and independence make more sense. So the real question is, why are so many men choosing single life when they're perfectly capable of finding a partner?
Can we talk about what it's like going from being in a relationship to being single? Because what in the actual ghetto is happening? Where did the men go? Someone tell me where the men went. Like, put me on. Did I miss something? Did I not get the freaking memo? I'm genuinely concerned for, like, our generation. Like, this is so pathetic. And I'm on a mission. And I swear I'm gonna freaking record my dating series for you guys because it's just too funny. And don't get me started on the Arab men. The Arab men are on a whole other level. Like, bro.
This is a question for the men. If you're not a man, keep scrolling. Okay, so men. Why are we hating women? Why are we hating women? I feel like women are hating men and men are now hating women. They don't want to get married. They don't want to live with them. They, they just want to be single forever. Like, what's going on here? Are all you men into men now? Like, what's going on? I'm so confused. I feel like we're creating a divide here, folks. Can we come back together? I love men. And I want men to start loving women again. Like, I don't know. What do we need to do? Let me know and I can try to get the congregation together and we could try to move forward so we can all start loving each other again. I don't know. What am I missing? Can you please fill me in? I'm very, 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 very confused. Okay, thanks.
Okay, but where are we meeting really high quality men? Because they're not on the dating apps, that's for sure. I feel like I've met guys that are really great and wonderful, but like really hardworking in their jobs that wouldn't be on a dating app, just like out at a bar or like out at a run club or something like that. But like, where are we meeting them? Like, these are just like situations I happen to be in, but it hasn't happened again. Where are we meeting these men?
Hi ladies. This is for like Minneapolis metro suburbs girls, because I currently cannot find a man or just like a normal date to save my life. What is up with the men in Minneapolis? Why are they so entitled? 1, they're not even that cute. 2, I don't want to settle. And if they're not attractive and their personalities fucking suck, they're not funny, I'm not doing it. Like, where are we finding good men? Like, serious. Where are we finding them? I don't want to go sit at Maynard's and have some weirdo walk up to me who is dressed in all Tommy Bahama. Like, that's just not my thing. But I also, like, I need to find out what you girls are doing, because all the time when I'm in the North Loop, I see hot women walking with hot men. Like, where? Help me, please.
Where have all the good men gone, followed immediately by insulting men, is the complete cell phone in 2 sentences. The introspection required to connect those 2 things is the exact step that never gets taken, because taking it would mean accepting that the answer to the question is standing in the mirror. The man who watched his soulmate leave pregnant with another man's child and decided he's in no hurry to repeat that experience isn't damaged, he's educated. And the man who wants peace at home without control, drama, and judgment isn't asking for much. He's asking for the bare minimum and choosing himself when it isn't offered.
So yesterday, I made a video in which I put out my theory that the majority, or at least most men that are single, are not as lonely as a lot of individuals out there would like us to believe. In fact, from the majority of the comments from men, most men have actually found it rather peaceful being single. And this seemed to upset some individuals, and by some I mean some women, some of whom left some very disparaging comments in regards to what they thought of me. But it doesn't matter what they think of me. What I want to know is, why would some women get upset that men are more happy single than they were in relationships. Because I think we all know that sometimes it's worse to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't appreciate you than to be single and be by yourself, where you don't have to worry about impressing anyone or worrying about what they're doing. So why would some be upset about what the guys were saying? Seems rather funny, doesn't it?
Peaceful, healthy, financially stable, and genuinely well. The 4 outcomes that keep appearing in the same sentence when men describe single life. The pattern is consistent enough at this point to constitute data rather than anecdote.
I don't know when we're finally going to realize that more and more men are single because they want to be single. Because they've built up their lives. They like their day-to-day routine. They buy what they want and can afford. They spend time on whatever hobby they enjoy. But what they don't want is making the mistake of sacrificing those things for something less than what they already have. And I get it. We've heard that women are raising their standards. But ladies, men are too.
I really don't.
Right.
I just like the freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want.
Right.
And that's really what it boils down to. People are like, oh, you're 45 and you're single and this and this and this. Like, I just like that I can do what I want. Yeah. If I'm tired, I go home and go to bed. If I want to go back to work, I can work till 3 a.m. I don't have to feel like, are you cheating? Who's the girl in the background? That's my bar manager. Why are she here with you at 2 a.m? Because we're opening up a bar in 3 weeks. I don't have to deal with that. And I think I like that. And I see too many people that have to live by somebody else's emotions and someone else's feelings.
Women are scared of happily single men. You want to know why? Let's get into it. Being happily single as a man makes you more appealing. Men that don't need to be in a relationship. Men that have high standards. Men that don't chase women. They chase in purpose. This makes women think, wonder if that man is actually interested in them, and will in turn, y'all listen to this, increase the value of that man and his expressed interest in their minds.
A man who handles his own life completely, financially, domestically, emotionally, doesn't need a relationship to function. That self-sufficiency doesn't lower his value in the market. It raises it while simultaneously reducing his urgency to enter a market that keeps underperforming. The reflection it triggers in others is just the gap between expectation and reality becoming visible.
It's the rude awakening that men have needed for thousands of years.
I have 4 big things to say about this, but first of all, I'm not quite sure where this belief came from that if more women divorce their husbands, that these men are just going to believe that it was all their fault and they're going to grow and get better. No, there's never just fault on one side, and men know that. Second of all, most men that go through divorce end up losing a lot in the form of lost time with their children and financially through spousal support and child support. So many men just feel victimized by the court system. Thirdly, a lot of these men that get put through the ringer, they eventually build themselves back and they realize that they're a lot happier being single. It's actually a lot more peaceful for them. And fourthly and lastly, a lot of men never want to get married again or in the first place because they hear women like this talking about divorce as if it's some sort of punishment for her not being happy, as if his needs and the family's needs have nothing to do with it. And men are smarter than that.
Would you rather be married and miserable or single and lonely?
Single and lonely, as long as I have my money. If you not my thought process, I cannot have you around me because you're gonna fuck up my life.
Can you be lonely and not miserable?
You can be lonely and have a blast. 9 times out of 10, when somebody tells you they're lonely, are they happy?
No.
Are they happy?
No.
I disagree.
Are they happy?
I've been lonely
I
and happy.
disagree.
You can be lonely and happy. You cannot be miserable and happy. It doesn't make sense.
When I'm feeling lonely, it's easier for me to feel loved if I go around people I love. When I'm miserable, I could be around y'all and I'm still miserable.
Occasional solitude is manageable. Constant emotional drainage is cumulative and permanent. The men who chose the former over the latter aren't settling for less. They're protecting the one resource that doesn't recover easily once it's gone. Peace chosen freely is worth significantly more than company that costs it.
Here is why intelligent men stay single. At work, being logical is rewarded, but that doesn't work with dating. Women want to feel emotions. This means flirting, telling stories, and making her laugh. Only when you stir her emotions can her attraction for you grow.
Emotional availability demanded from men, while male emotions get dismissed or weaponized the moment they surface. That's the dynamic described consistently across thousands of these videos. The asymmetry isn't subtle, and men who identified it stopped performing vulnerability for an audience that used it against them.
I can't see one single positive argument for staying single today. We're having a cigar the other day with this guy when we did the live podcast. He's 35 years old, makes millions, but he doesn't want to get married. He says, it's too risky getting married today. I says, too risky getting married today. I said, man, it's too risky staying single today. Like, what do you think life is all about? Pulling up to a restaurant in a Rolls Royce? For what? Who cares? Those people that say, what a nice car, don't give a shit about you. Everything about life is investing in things that outlive you. Man wants to live forever, but we're not going to. The only way you're going to get a glimpse of living forever is by what you build. You have kids, you raise them properly, they continue your last name, you write a book, you make music, you make movies, you make something that outlives you.
True. All of this is true. Well said.
Well said, soldier.
Independence isn't a retreat from traditional relationships. It's an adaptation to an environment where traditional relationships stopped delivering what they historically offered men in return for what they historically required. The adaptation is rational. The environment produced it.
4 reasons why being a single man in your 30s is awesome. Number 1, you're actually attractive to women, okay? A lot of guys spend time in their 20s not feeling attractive to women at all, but if you work on yourself in your 30s, you're gonna be a lot more attractive to them. Number 2, you're less desperate for sex. The good thing about being in your 30s is you're not a complete horn dog all the time. It actually helps. 3, you have money to finally do what you want and you're not sweating over the check when the bill comes. 4, you have less pressure to settle down and have kids. This is one of the benefits of being a guy as opposed to women who experience a lot of pressure during this time.
Said plainly, accurately, and with enough self-awareness to include male accountability in the assessment. That combination is rare enough to be worth acknowledging when it appears.
This society is changing a lot, and even when we see a guy out that we think is cute, a lot of times they won't even walk up to us because they're intimidated.
And I don't know,
And
it
like
could-
that's weird to me because I don't know. I think that's part of being a female is you want to feel like you're being
I
chased.
know.
Or
I feel like guys do the chasing, and girls like I'm the tequila, not the lime. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to I'm not gonna chase. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna chase you.
A basic gesture now carries legal and reputational exposure that didn't exist a generation ago. Peace costs nothing. Dating under constant judgment costs everything. The men who did the comparison and chose accordingly aren't socially broken. They're responding correctly to the actual incentive structure in front of them.
Oh, let me do everything to get a girl. Let me get a girl. And it's like they chase the women. They don't chase the success. And when you chase the women, what ends up happening is you have to work exponentially harder because you're dealing with someone that didn't like you in the first place.
The redirect happened cleanly, money, fitness, and mental clarity instead of female validation as the organizing principle of male effort. The men who made that shift aren't bitter about women. They're just no longer organized around them. The difference in outcomes between the two approaches speaks for itself.
Okay, so of course, y'all both supposed to be loving each other and reciprocating the same energy. Right? However, in my experience, like he said, when you start out chasing a woman and constantly trying to have to prove yourself, every next level you get to, now you got to do this. Now climb up to that level, now you got to do this all the time. Versus a woman that's after you and that's on your purpose and that's trying to help you with your vision, you don't have to do all the extra work. Not saying that work won't be needed, but you definitely gonna put in that work, and she's gonna push you to that direction. But it is 10 times more work if I'm having to chase you also in that process. True. Why can't we just, be how it is, establish this together, work together, and then we build something? But if I'm trying to build and chase you at the same time, I'm not going to ever get to my destination, or it's going to take me longer than it should have.
Build life first. Let life attract. Never chase at the expense of what you're building. The men who inverted that sequence, pausing construction to pursue someone who wasn't invested, paid for it in both directions simultaneously. The correct order was always built first. Choose carefully, never compromise the foundation for someone who hasn't earned access to it. The answer is simpler than people want to admit. Men aren't necessarily rejecting love, companionship, or marriage. They're rejecting relationships that cost more than they give back. When a man can build a peaceful, financially stable life on his own, dating has to offer something genuinely better to justify the risk. Millions of men didn't lose interest in relationships overnight. They simply discovered that being alone can be better than being with the wrong person. Thanks for watching MGTOW Voice. Show us your love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Support us, and help spread awareness for men around the world. We welcome a healthy debate and discussion, so feel free to comment and share your thoughts.